Greetings, true believers. Joel Past Spider-Man. Hey guys, KJ here. Spider Shave for the TSC. Today we're going to do a throwback shave. Nurse Dave, when he did his first video, he decided to use all of the products that he started out with. And because of that, Chad Civargo started a thread asking everybody what their initial shaves were, if they still had the products and whatnot. And then yesterday he posted that today he was going to do a throwback shave. So I decided to join him and do a video with all the stuff that I started out with. So we're going to set the Wayback Machine back to May of 2010. That is when I joined the wet shaving forums and began my journey down the traditional wet shaving path. Got on a forum and tried to find out what I needed to do to get some better shaves. I was getting a lot of redness and irritation on my neck using a Mach 3. And I read about DE shaving, and so I joined the forum to find out what was what. Was a little confused at first, as a lot of people are. Someone said you need to get a good shaving cream. Well, I was watching videos, and I was watching Mantic videos, and he had this video set on what was it, method shaving, and that confused the heck out of me, and I thought that's what traditional shaving was and got really confused. And then someone said you need to buy a good shaving cream, so I went out and bought a can of Barbasol because that's what I thought I needed. Took me a while to find my place, but finally figured out that a DE is what I needed. So just happened to be going out of town that week, and I was going to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and visited a few antique stores on my downtime and found this razor. In addition, this is a Gillette Blue Tip Super Speed. Also on that same trip, I found a Gillette Slim Adjustable. Now I'm opting to use this one for my throwback shave because I'm not really fond of the Slim. I much prefer the Fat Boy for an adjustable razor. Fat Boy is one of my favorite razors ever. The Slim is not. I don't know what the difference is, but it just doesn't perform as well for me. And I have not used a blue tip in a long time, so I'm going to use this one for my shave today. Aside from this, everything else that I started off with, I bought locally. So my blades, Persona, Platinum Chrome blades, which in this format, you can't find them anymore, at least I can't. The store I buy them at has switched to the stainless steel blades rather than the platinum chrome, and I don't like the stainless steel as much as the platinum chrome. So I've got a small stock of these, so I cherish these blades. But these are my favorite overall of any blade I've ever used. So this is what I started off with. For soap, Vanderhagen, the Deluxe. There's also a Select, which is I've never used, but it's like a half step down from this, I guess. I'm not sure what the exact difference is, but they got the Select, they got the Deluxe, and they got the Glycerin. So this is what I started off with. Also been soaking here, but my brush is a Vanderhagen Boar brush. So all of this stuff that I started off with is super cheap. So if you're just getting into wet shaving, this was like $1.50. The blades were $1.50. I don't remember how much the brush was. It was like $5, I think. My lather bowl is a soup mug that I got from a thrift store. Now actually the first one, this isn't my first. My first mug was a soup mug that I bought from Walmart for $5, and it was white, and that's the one I used, but I ended up piffing that one away. So this might be the second mug that I bought. This one I bought at a thrift store for 50 cents. and it's a perfect lather bowl. And then to finish off, Aqua Velva, which is about $3. So really doesn't take that much money to get into traditional wet shaving, and that's how I started, by buying a bunch of cheap products. Now a little bit about this Vanderhagen. I don't like the scent at all, and that's why I don't use this stuff. I've got a ton of the glycerin. The glycerin is a wonderful soap. Comes in the same puck and same container as this, but that one is a golden color and it's see-through. But this Vanderhagen is scented exactly the same as gray flannel. So if you're familiar with the gray flannel aftershave or cologne and you like it, go get yourself some Vanderhagen, because that's exactly what it smells like. I'm not a fan of that scent. I bought the the set, the aftershave and cologne set, and I couldn't use it. I piffed it away. So it's not as strong here, but I don't know what it is about that scent. I just don't like it. So we're gonna go ahead and start this up. It's a little bit of a challenge to lather off of this puck since it's so small. This is a melt and pour soap, so if you did have it and you wanted to melt it into a different container, you could easily just pop it in the microwave for 5 to 10 seconds at a time and pour it into something else. I also, in the early days when I was using a lot of Vanderhagen, since I didn't like the scent, I was experimenting with melting it down and then adding a bunch of aftershave to it, mixing it up, and then that would scent the puck and get rid of some of the gray flannel scent. So I started off with probably Aqua Velva and bay rum, a couple other things that I've used to scent it. Can also experiment with different soaps. If the soap isn't performing to your liking, I would grate up a puck of Williams and melt this and then mix the two together. You can't really melt Williams, but you can melt this. So you grate up Williams, make it really fine, melt this up, and you mix the two together and kind of make a super soap out of a couple of lesser soaps, I guess. Alright, so probably got enough here. We'll see what that gets us. Now, as you know from watching my videos, I am a face latherer, but since this is a throwback shave, I was not a face latherer in the beginning. I didn't learn about face lathering until a few months in, and once I did, there was no going back. I much preferred face lathering, but I put a little bit of water in there just to get started, and we'll see how this goes. I mean, Vanderhagen is a pretty good soap. Pretty good starter soap. It's nothing to write home about, but it does lather pretty easily. So to get you started, you can go to the drugstore, Walmart, grocery store. They all carry it. So we're already getting some lather. I'm going to add a little bit more water. So I had been kind of curious about digging out this Vanderhagen bore. I have not used this thing in years. But for some reason I kept it, my first brush. Now this was my first bore. My first badger was this Ever Ready Rocket, which was given to me in a piff. It was a restored knot. The person that piffed it to me put a brand new TGN knot in it. I think it's just a TGN Pure Badger. And that brush, once I started using that one, I used that brush as my sole brush for years, before I even started to get any other brushes. I'm not really a big brush guy. They all serve a purpose, but I never got into collecting brushes like I collect razors and soaps and things, and aftershaves. My favorite is aftershaves. Alright, so So we're good with this lather. Luckily, it's not as strong in the lather as it is off the puck. So once I get it on my face, it's actually not too bad scent-wise. Alright, so I'll let that sit on my face for a little bit while I get my razor ready, because we're starting off from scratch. So I need to load a blade. So with these cartridges, you follow the arrows and you push, and then once you get the blade sticking out a little bit, you just hook it on the blade guide there and just pull it off. Tighten it up and you're good to go. So I like running my razors under hot water. I think that a warm blade makes a better cut than a cold blade, so I like to run it under hot water first. Now honestly, I'm not expecting too much out of this shave. The blue tip is really mild. And that's why I haven't used it in a long time. Actually, it feels pretty good though. When I grabbed the blue tip initially, my thought was to put a feather in it, since it is so mild, get a nice sharp blade in there. But gotta stick with the throwback and use the platinum chrome, which again, it's my favorite blade, so I'm not sad about it at all. It's just not quite as sharp as the feather, but it is a lot smoother. Not bad. Wet my face a little bit before I apply. You see, especially on the second pass, it's not super thick. But you don't need it to be thick. All you need is a little layer of soap. Just where the blade interacts with the skin, that's enough. Actually, I don't have any complaints at all about that brush. It served me well in the beginning. Definitely not the best bore brush you're gonna find. It shed quite a bit at the beginning. But it's perfectly serviceable for a cheap brush. All right. Well, with that touch-up, I actually got a pretty good shave. And with the blue tip being so mild, it was very comfortable. All right, so rinse this off. Dry off. So glad I have the shelf up here, and now I got my towel ready access. Okay, now, in the beginning, I did not use witch hazel, so I'm not using witch hazel today. Just going straight for the aquavelva. So as you know, with the aquavelva or any other aftershave with a really wide opening, just cover it up with your finger or thumb, tip it over, and then pull your finger back until it starts dripping, and then when you're ready, just put your finger back over. That will keep the aftershave from following the neck down the bottle, because a lot of people complain about getting aftershave all over their sink or over their counter when you want it all over your hands and face. So that is a good way of dispensing your aftershave without spilling it. I definitely do not use the aquavelva enough. It's just a wonderful, wonderful scent. Great, crisp, cool feeling. Excellent to start off a hot summer day as it's been. So there's my throwback shave. Wet shaving doesn't have to be expensive. We make it expensive because we buy lots of razors and lots of products, and we buy expensive soaps, but it doesn't have to be at all. This whole setup, the blades, the aftershave, the razor, the mug, the brush, all together, I spent less than $20. And that setup is gonna last me a good month or two before I even need to buy more soap. And the only thing beyond that I'm gonna need to buy is blades, which for me, these platinum chromes last me at least a month. I know some people aren't going to get that kind of longevity out of them, but this 10 blades is going to last me the better part of a year. So even if it lasts you like 3 months, that's every 3 months you're spending $3 more to buy another soap and another package of blades, and then $3 for another thing aftershave. So really every 3 months you're spending $9 more on shaving. And you had a $20 initial investment. That's not bad. So it doesn't have to be expensive. We just make it expensive. All right, so that's my throwback shave. I did have one more thing for you real quick. Shaving, it's in the world around us, right? You see things every now and then and you're like, I wonder if that could be used for shaving, or wow, that kind of looks like something I use. So I was out in a park, this was a couple years ago, I guess, and I've had it forever. I just never got around to posting about it. But I was out in a park walking around and looked down and saw this thing in the grass. And I'm like, it kind of looks like a razor. Now it really just reminds me of like a Persona injector razor or something similar. But I want you to guess and tell me what you think this is. I know what it is. But I want you to tell me what you think this is, what it came off of. Obviously it's broken, so it's part of something larger. So what was this originally? I don't know, just, it was very interesting to see this, and I don't know why I've kept it so long. This piece of junk barely looks like a razor, but it looks like a razor to me. Anyway, so put your guesses down in the comments, and let me hear what you think it is. I think it'll be interesting to see what everybody guesses. So again, I'm Spider for the TSC. If you haven't joined us on the forum yet, go to www.theshavingcadre.com. Like and subscribe to this video on YouTube, and we'll see you guys on the forums. Thanks.